the power of the Fed has grown dramatically the past decade or so, explosively, and they've become so much more of a bigger player within the economy. They're so much more of a driving force instead of just being a rudder behind the boat and merely making a few adjustments here and there. They're now the engine. They're running the whole thing. Good statistic came out from, remember Judy Shelton? She was supposed to be a part of the Federal Reserve Bank. She was hopefully was going to become one of the governors, and she had been a kind of an opponent, if you will, of the gold standard years ago, and they had picked up on that, and there was this whole hullabaloo. Anyway, she had an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal. She pointed out that the bank reserves from the Fed, which were less than $2 billion in 2008, grew to $3.8 trillion by the end of last year. So the Fed's position in the economy has exploded. The amount of control that the Fed has over the economic environment now is much greater than ever before. They are the force. They are the engine now behind the entire market. All the stimulus that has come out from the Fed, explosion of the Fed's balance sheet. We talked on your show, I think it was less than 2 years ago, when a lot of the COVID stuff had first started. We had about a $4 trillion balance sheet on the Federal Reserve.
And I'm looking right now for June 3rd.
And I had estimated, and I had said it, that, if this goes the way I think it will, by the time this is done, we're going to have $9 or $10 trillion on a Fed balance sheet, which sounded absurd when it was $4 trillion. And here we are now. They're now estimating by next year, $9 trillion is going to be on the Federal Reserve balance sheet. And they're still buying $120 billion a month in both treasuries and mortgage backs.
$7,895 billion this morning. Wow. Almost $8
Just shy of $8 trillion.
dollars.